was great.
I gotta see that again.
I'm so
that
excited.
was incredible.
I'll talk over the pacing and everything like that. But, you know, besides the turnovers, you know, the turnovers, 20-plus turnovers in the game, if they cut that out, this would have been like an even better of a game. But they only had one steal. How do you win games without a steal? You do it by chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. Obi Toppin, he had a rough start of the game. He kept going, played defense, made some good plays down the stretch, hit some threes, drove. He got some good offensive rebounds. I have to say Miles Turner as well. I said at halftime, he needs to pick this thing up a little bit. Defensively, he was up on the drops a little bit more, making things a little bit more uncomfortable. But, man, Haliburton at 3, goodness, boy. You had a former Pacer. You had me pacing over here, man. I'm going to kick it to you right now. I'm going to kick it to you.
Look at this. The Pacers are the first team with 25 turnovers in an NBA Finals win since the Trailblazers in 1977.
Wow.
I mean,
the Walton Trailblazers, right?
This is filthy, yes. This is ridiculous. And they're now 8-1 in games that were within 5 points in the last 5 minutes, which is known as clutch time. And Tyrese Haliburton, the definition of clutch.
I'm going to admit it. I thought it was done.
We did.
I thought it was done. But Roy and I were sitting in the green room, and I said, Roy, I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but it's 2s for 3s. It's 2s for 3s. Every time he scores, they're making 2s, and you guys got to make 3s and get stops. And you look at the other thing. They crushed OKC on the glass, which you never see.
Yeah.
And they outshot them. 47, I want to say 47 to 39%. And the other thing I said, Roy, was driving what?
Kick.
Because what OKC does when you drive, they swarm you, right? They're very physical, and they're just leaving that corner 3, which the Pacers are excellent at, wide open, and they knock down 3 after 3 after 3. They made 18 threes. That was the difference in the game. I said, Roy, they got to drive and kick. Stop trying to score in the teeth of the defense, and every time you drive, they swarm and they reach. And if you're just tough enough and kick it, knock down 3s, and they just warm down in Tyrese Haliburton, right? Are you not entertained?
It's amazing.
Are you not entertained?
Because SGA was playing in his first finals game. He had a great game. You had Lou Dort, all defensive first team, had 5 threes, 4 steals, couple blocks. He was playing out of his mind as well. And then you get Tyrese Haliburton in these clutch moments. And also not to be forgotten about was the play late where Cason Wallace bumps into Pascal Siakam and OKC ends up getting the ball back. They're able to force a turnover there and get a second chance to win the game.
But here's the thing. Think about this, right? When you look at the assists, and think of how crucial it is. I said drive and kick. 24 to 13. You know what OKC was doing?
What's that?
Playing hero ball tonight. One-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. And what the Pacers realize is, hey, this defense is really good. It's as good as advertised. We can't score against them. We have to score by playing with us. We have to do it together because one guy can't score on that team. And when they did that, guess what? They were rewarded with wide open threes, making 18 shots, and gave themselves a chance. And this is what happens. The last thing point I'll make. When you keep scoring on them and they don't score, they've never been in this situation. Their eyes, they get tighter. Their eyes get bigger. The fans, wow, they haven't been here before. And you put Tyrese Haliburton in a position to make a shot, and they won the game.
Yeah, it's by community. You look at the bench here. Obi Toppin had 17. Thomas Bryant had a couple, like 1 3 and then a long 2 to get it 5 points. The bench for the Pacers were great. 30-plus points off the bench as opposed to the 20 for OKC. It was more moving the ball around. Like you said, the assist is great, but it's by committee. And Ben Mathurin, he didn't play that much, but he brought a little bit of a edge, a little bit of a toughness in that second half. Didn't score a lot of points, but, you know, you bring that grit, man. Oh, my gosh. People in Indiana are going to love this, man.
They're going to love it. They're going to love seeing you talk about it, and they loved seeing your reaction to it. They're down by 15, Roy, in the 4th quarter. Down by 15. What did you see out of OKC where they sort of took the pedal off, right? They kind of came back a little bit. They didn't have that killer mentality, and that's what you have to do against these Pacers because they don't die. They just keep going. They keep coming back. I saw it against the Cavaliers. Yeah. We saw it against the Knicks. Like, this is a team that just doesn't go away.
They're never out of a fight, but they keep chipping away. One of the things that I saw in the game was, I think OKC did a good job of the defense. You know, Seawalk talked about the hands that they use. They're fouling a lot. I like it. You know, you have to secure the ball, but they did not finish around the rim. OKC was missing a lot of chippies around the rim, and obviously SGA was good. He was off balance, hitting shots and everything like that. But you got to cut down on those like mistakes. But man, I'm still flabbergasted.
Let me hit you with this, all right? that was tied for the largest blown lead in the fourth quarter of an NBA Finals game in the play-by-play era. That's since 1996. I mean, this is history stuff. And for Indiana, most 15-point comebacks in the playoffs in the play-by-play era with 5. Like, this is stuff. Now, Roy, I'm in on OKC as the series starts. I'm picking them in 5, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, if you don't have a dog in the fight or you don't have a team that you're rooting for, you're starting to go, oh man, I kind of like this Pacers team. They're kind of like blue collar. They're gritty. They're tough. You're like, I kind of feel like I want to move sides now and jump on the bandwagon because I'm a little salty they beat my Cavaliers. So I'm like, all right, if you can't beat him, might as well join him, let him win the title. At least we lost to the champs.
I mean, this is a great team. They've shown this over and over and over again. And I think one of the best things that Rick Carlisle has done is put together a group that has a good foundation. You build off of what you've done throughout the season, and you keep building on that foundation. And the fact that they've done it so many times, it has to be a gut punch to OKC. I mean, I know that in the Cavaliers series, they actually, I saw an interview, Max Strus was actually so depleted and so sad after they were down. They were up by 20 in the third or in the fourth, and they cut it down. And I'm just like, the Pacers are going to get this. They're going to get this. And I hope OKC is deflated because that was their best shot. They were hitting threes from early on. They were getting steals. To me, it's like, how can you win a game if you, like, you do all the right stuff, but you can't finish?
You know who the architect of this is? Rick Carlisle.
Oh, no question.
This is the first time, because I'm going to hit you with this again, because there's so much historic references in this game. This is tied for the largest fourth-quarter deficit overcome in an NBA Finals game in the play-by-play era. The other one, Rick Carlisle, the coach, Mavs beat the Heat in 2011. Yeah. So, like, he knows what he's doing, and he knows what he can get out of his players. And as a coach, as a former coach yourself, I know how much you appreciate that.
Listen, I was going right to that. And Mark Dayton, I was going to have to think about, hey, I had Hartenstein, and Chet Holmgren didn't have a great game. Both guys were out at the end.
Yep.
So you got to think about lineup optimization. And in that situation, who's in the game at that time and who could have helped you? And I go back to, again, the sharing of the basketball. And I watched the Minnesota Timberwolves series, and I was like, why are they running 2 people at Shea? You're leaving Jalen Williams wide open. That didn't happen. I'm not saying Jalen Williams struggled, but at the end of the day, Holmgren wasn't doing what he usually does. Jalen Williams was just okay. And then when the game got tight, and here's the thing, I honestly believe, again, I know I went south at halftime. I got to stay with my group. My 3 words, Pacers and 6.
Yep.
But I'll tell you this, they're a team of destiny. You mentioned your Cavaliers. Who would have thought they would go and beat the Cavaliers, all right, twice at home, and then go in the Garden and win twice on the road? And look what they've done. They're a team of destiny. That's what I believe.
You're already ready to say that after one game.
Did you see what you
yes,
just
I did.
read?
I'm making sure I'm just making sure that you're okay saying that.
Listen, 2 straight series, they've been the underdog. They've been the dog, and look what they've done.
Okay, hey.
Team of destiny. I'm sorry. What else can you say? They should not have won this game last night. Let's be honest.
Right.
Right? Now, think about the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 2. If they lose Game 2,
oh man,
come on, man.
I was hoping for a split.
Come on. They couldn't play any worse and won the game. Oh, man.
What an epic game it was. They rally from 15 down in the fourth quarter. They take their first lead with 0.3 seconds left to steal Game 1 on the road, take a 1-0 series lead. Much more ahead on this game, and we look ahead to Game 2 as you take a look at the final schedule. Game 2 Sunday back in Oklahoma City. The series shifting to Indianapolis for Game 3 next Wednesday. You can watch the entire NBA Finals on ABC. CBS Sports HQ presented by Volkswagen. It's always a good time to buy a VW, but during deal days, it's a slam dunk. And, man, that was nothing but a slam dunk for the Pacers. They had to earn that win, every bit of it. Roy Hibbert, Chris Walker back here in studio. And, Roy, when you look at what the Pacers did in Game 1, and now you're the Thunder sitting and looking ahead to Game 2, how do you come back from that?
So, obviously, you know, they have to not get too down on themselves and obviously get back up. Obviously, they have another home game. But for me, looking at it, I think that maybe OKC should go back to that big lineup of having Chet and Hartenstein in the starting lineup and taking Wallace out. Have him naturally come off the bench like he has all the time. Offensively, I think that, you know, those 2 bigs really play well off of each other. A lot of high-low passes to each other. Chet has that 3, and then he also, Hartenstein has a push shot. And they really, like, have a good connection there. They assist each other all the time. And I think that double big lineup will actually help with those late offensive rebounds like you talked about. You know, you cannot give up offensive rebounds down the stretch. So having two bigs back in the lineup, and it's nothing like crazy. They've played like this the whole playoffs, having two bigs. So I'd like to see them probably get back to that if they want to make this a little bit more competitive and tighten things up down the stretch.
So think about it. You're 80 and 18 going into this game. Why are you changing the lineup? You're 80 and 18. You're the best defensive team, best defensive road team, best offense. Why would you change the lineup? Sometimes as coaches, you can outsmart yourself. There was a great coach, and Bobby Knight, that says, you know, dumb will get you beat more than smart will help you win. Right? And I'm not saying Mark Dagnall's a dumb coach. All I'm saying is maybe that was just a dumb move. Right? Go with the horse that got you there. The other thing is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took 30 shots. It's too many shots. Right? And a lot of that's one-on-one, which does not get the other guys involved. And Jalen Williams went 6 for 19. 6 for 19. You can't win. So at the end of the day, I think they got to move the basketball a little bit more. Right? They have to find a way to, again, what Indiana, and I was just telling Roy, what they do so well is they make threes. That's why they're never out of the game. Right? They're never out of it. And I was looking at this stat when we were just talking. They made 25 turnovers, right? But yet they won points off turnovers 25-7. So that means in the second half, guess what? Right? The Thunder turned the ball over in the second half. That's what the people weren't talking about. That's how they came back. But they still had to make the shots, and Tyrese Haliburton, I mean, still had to make that shot. But great job by them, and Rick Carlisle, you mentioned before about the coach, right? I don't want to say out-coach Mark Dagnall, but his adjustments and keeping his team even keel was the reason why that team came back and put themselves in position they won the game.
Well, it helps when you've been there before, right? If you're Rick Carlisle, you've been in these situations, because a lot of these players have not been in these situations. A lot of it's their first NBA Finals experience. Pascal Siakam won a championship, but when you take a look at the experience in these rosters, it's not very deep. And so now, Roy, when you look at the Pacers trying to take a 2-0 series lead on the road, which I can't believe I'm sitting here actually about to say that they could take a 2-0 series lead, what is the recipe here to not get yourself in a game where you always have to come back? Or is that the recipe? Do you want to, guess what? Start the game down 15, we're going to come back.
I mean, to be honest with you, if they just take care of the jitters at the beginning of the game, hopefully that doesn't happen in the second and third game, but they don't have those turnovers early. I think Obi Toppin can give you maybe like 8 or 9 points in the first half and then also give you 15 in the second half. You cut down on those turnovers early, I think you're out to the races and you don't have to fight back. I won't be biting my nails left and right to get this, you know, for this win.
Listen, I said before, again, Pacers in 6, right? I'm going to stick by that. As I watch this, they beat your Cavaliers. The Cavaliers were a dominant team. They beat them. They beat the Knicks. The Knicks were rolling. They fired their coach. And you mentioned, we've talked about this earlier, who had the tougher path? Think about this. OKC, right? They beat a team that got rid of their coach in Memphis. They beat another team that got rid of their coach. And then they beat a Timberwolves team that was and they looked disjointed. That was their road. What was the Pacers' road? They had the tougher challenge. And guess what? The Thunder were 29-1 against the East. But guess what? This ain't the regular season. It's the playoffs, and they're playing for all the marbles, and the Pacers got it done when it mattered most.
So how do you feel right now about your pick, Pacers in 6, and your pick, Pacers in 7? You might have overshot it. You might be thinking something else. I can still be right, though, by the way. I said Thunder in 5.
No way, Haki. Don't do that.
Hold on a second. You don't think the Thunder is capable of winning 4 in a row right now?
Did you see what just happened?
I just did, but that's one game. Flush it and win 4 in a row.
They're not playing the Timber Puppies. This is a different team. My bad, Ant-Man. I love you, but they're not playing the Timber Puppies. This is a different team, and Rick Carlisle's a different coach. This team has proven. They've done it in the Garden. They've done it against the best team in the East. I mean, this team is real. When are we going to give them credit? It's like golf.
We're giving them
credit. I'm a decent golfer.
We're giving them credit.
But it's like they say, it's not how, it's how many. It's not how they do it, as long as they do it, and that's what they've done.
Does this give you what kind of feeling about the Pacers now that they've won this game 1? Because you said it, you came in thinking, all right, if we get a split, we're good. But now that they won game 1 and now they're 4-0 in game 1s this postseason, what does that make you feel as a former Pacers player?
I'm so happy. There's so many people that are online that are like, oh, Roy, you don't want to see the Pacers do well. You don't want them to do better than like when you played. I want to see this team win a championship for this city. Obviously, the Colts have won it before. It's such a big football town. I would love for the Pacers to bring another championship. in basketball to Indiana because we're a blue-collar, hard-working a town right there. But, man, this is something that not many people can see. I'm happy that I'm here with y'all doing this, but obviously I would love to be at Game 3 and Game 4, sitting courtside with the team, but I'm happy I'm here. But this team is going to do it for the city, and they're never out of a fight.
Let me just say this. It's unfair to you, whoever it is online, because you play when LeBron played with the Heat.
Oh, yeah.
So forget about that.
Yeah.
There was no chance you guys. Again, what you're doing is cheering for a team right now that has a legitimate chance of winning. And we were saying about no star stacking. Then there's no star. Like, think about OKC. I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and this may be unpopular, and he's the MVP.
Yep.
But are you really scared? I mean, look at the roster.
Yeah.
You know, are you really scared?
Fair question.
That's my thing.
Are you really scared?
Are you
Roy?
really scared of them? I mean, I know the stats say what they say, but if you're on the other end, who's really the most experienced team? The Pacers are. You know, with the coach who's a championship coach. And guess what? They got home court advantage right now.
Yeah.
It is a problem right now for OKC Thunder. Again, I don't know what's going to happen in Game 2, but you are playing with house money, Roy, if you can win that game on Sunday.
I hope they're demoralized. I hope OKC can't figure it out because the Pacers, like I said, have a chance. But that's all I'm going to say.
What's the one change that the Thunder have to make in Game 2 to get back into this series and get a split here?
Listen, here's the thing. What they definitely have to do, they created 25 turnovers and got 7 points. That's a problem.
19 of them were in the first half.
Exactly, and they did not capitalize. That should have been a 20 to 25 point lead. That is the biggest thing that went wrong. Now, against the Nuggets, they fouled up 3, and then Nuggets won that game on the Aaron Gordon shot, and they came back and won that series. This team is different. As I said before, they're going to have to score on those turnovers. And the last thing is, I think they got to move the basketball around a little bit more. I think it was too much one-on-one basketball tonight.
Yeah, for me, the last thing about the OKC is like they got to find a way to get Chet going. He is such a big, integral part for this team. It gives space for guards to drive to the lane when he's able to pick and pop, hit threes. Last series against Minnesota, he did a good job of seeing Julius Randle come up on him, pump fake, drive to the hole, spin. He would get some dunks. He'd get some assists at Hartenstein. So they got to figure out a way to get him more involved because he played 24 minutes, 2 for 9. He only had 6 points. I mean, he's so much capable of so much more.
The Indiana Pacers 3 wins away from their first NBA championship in franchise history. And get this, the winner of Game 1 has gone on to win the NBA Finals in 6 of the previous 8 seasons.
Wow.
Roy Hibbert, Chris Walker here in CBS Sports HQ studios. Good to have you men talking about this series as the Pacers steal Game 1 on the road. Tyrese Haliburton, how about this? Most field goals made to tie or take the lead in the final 3 seconds of the fourth quarter overtime. He's got 5. LeBron James only has more with 8, Chris.
Wow. They say he's not clutch. I guess where's Michael Jordan?
How many seasons did LeBron play?
Where's Michael Jordan at? Is that Michael Jordan there somewhere?
Reggie Kobe, Chris Middleton. I mean, that is the definition of clutch, and that overrated narrative is pretty much over.